Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Otakuology Podcast. I'm your host, Otaku Mike. With me, as always, is Jin. I don't have a witty comeback for this one, Graves.
Um,
I couldn't think of anything off the top of my head.
Shoot, I had one, and then I did it too. Jin. He may not be dead yet, but he's still in our hearts. At what was the Mexican place called?
I forget what it's called.
At the Chimichangas or whatever.
But we are talking about episode 2 of the Boroughs, The Mourning After,
which is such a horrible title thing for this.
I
mean, I get it.
I
get it, but it makes me think about Mourning After. Yeah, that's.
I thought maybe like the Morning After pill, something like that,
yeah.
or
yeah, that's how I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like they could have just put all this in like an extra long episode and just made it one episode.
Yeah, we are starting to get to certain things like that it feels like it kind of does what Stranger Things does, where it all pulls itself really close together, and then you got to kind of work your way to get back to where you understand everything.
Yeah,
and then plot A, B, and C all trying to work itself together.
I haven't finished the show yet. I'm on episode 7. So
good.
I don't know what happens at the end.
So I want to ruin one little part for you, and I want to cover it up front, because I'm just going to go ahead and get out of the way. And I didn't think about it till I watched this episode again. When they do the thing where the stuff's on the spoon and they do the test with the TV?
Yeah.
So when that thing popped out, I thought it was like a cosmos, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like a star chart or something like that. Since I have finished the show, I find that thing to be the most redundant thing in this show right now. Because in no way or anything does it tie into anything else right now.
It doesn't.
So it doesn't.
Let me ask you.
I am very confused.
Let me ask you, because we'll get into it.
Okay.
Do the birds tie into anything? Like the crows or whatever they were. That
not really.
Because here's the thing. Like, I was watching this, and then I was like, "Oh, I forgot about that. Because it's been a couple weeks since we recorded,
Yeah.
And I was trying. I wonder if there were some weird red herrings, or that got thrown around, to throw you off certain things,
Okay, so this is what I think on that. Have you seen? Slight spoiler. Have you seen the character Mother yet?
Yes.
Or do you know about Mother? Okay.
Yes.
So I don't know, because I know that these people have said that they've had stuff. I think that was possibly a projection of Mother trying to get Art to pay attention more, because a lot of the other people can't.
Okay.
And I think that Art couldn't really hook onto it, which is why she kind of moved over to Sam later on.
Okay.
So, but no, I mean, that's a good question. It was a weird thing, and we do have that weird spot out at this place.
Yeah.
Where you hear the monster noise, and then the thing with the crows happens.
Yeah, but let's
it is one of those things I don't know.
Let's get into this episode and talk about it and discuss.
So it's the morning after.
The morning after, our boy Jack is dead.
And some people come to have Jack do the walk of shame.
I don't know if it's the walk of shame. It's more like he got rolled out.
Walk of shame. you get rolled. What else has wheels? Wheelchairs.
I don't know if Jack is ashamed of anything, though.
No, but it was very bad. I mean, it was the walk of shame for us because we're very upset that this character passed away in the show.
Yeah, couldn't they have like killed somebody else off?
Uh true, true. I agree. I mean, they could have killed off what was the crazy guy that had the house before?
Oh,
Arthur? Not Arthur.
Edward.
Edward, yeah.
Edward.
I mean they could have taken him.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would have been okay. I would have been okay with that.
yeah.
um yeah, I mean cuz a lot of the people in the main cast I
They're
don't
likable.
see. Yeah, they're very likable, and they all are very unique. While we had some things, and I'm going to relate some of this to Stranger Things. While we had some things where some of the people did have characteristics that stood out, there were also some characteristics that I felt like made the characters different things, and like you also had the relationships, like one of the things like Dustin and Lucas's relationship are, you know, that they're friends to the end, but they butt heads,
Yeah,
right? They do that. That's the thing. In this, while we do have some of that, to me with the Boroughs, every character is unique.
that is true.
Every character feels unique. They're not held up by another character. I feel like they all stand on their own feet, and I really just think the big thing with that is we're working with actors and actresses that have had, you know, 40 or 50 years under their belt
Yeah,
on,
yeah, yeah,
you know, on stuff. So
yeah.
um
But yeah,
but yeah,
we have this scene where like we see Sam and he's just like kind of out of it almost, and he's in disbelief that Jack died, and like they're trying to tell him like, oh, like he died of a heart attack or whatever, or sleep apnea or whatever, and he's like, no, like something got him. Like I don't know what it was. It looked like a wild animal, but something got him.
which I have to say this part really made me laugh because Sam gets checked out by the doctor,
Yeah,
and the doctor signs off and says, "Oh, everything's okay. Like there's nothing for you to worry about." And then when he brings the stuff up, he goes, "Maybe you should come in for some more tests or whatever." And Sam's like, nail on the head right there. Hey, didn't you just tell me that I
it was
was
it
a
was
okay?
okay. Yeah,
That everything was right, all right? Like what else? Like they flipped really hard on this part, and after watching it the first time or watching it the second time, I think you can really see, because you have the knowledge of it, of where the cracks are.
yeah.
So saying any kind of animal, I mean, it could really be an animal. They could have incorporated like the the chupacabra, the
The
chupacabra in
chupacabra,
this.
the
Yeah,
chupacabra. I gotta get the
the
chupacabra.
chupacabra. They could have included that in this. They
The
could have
bruja, whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, they could have included like four other different things. They could have even had just weird coyotes or whatever that were running around.
Yeah,
I think that here, whenever you bring up any of that stuff, they're going to be like, "Hey, we need to take you in."
yeah. We gotta take you in.
So
You're
I
seeing
think when
stuff.
Sam brought that up, that's why there was the very sudden change. Which,
Yeah.
you know, we'll find out later on why a lot of people are such close knit that are in the supervisor slash owner roles.
Um, Supervisors of the boroughs.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, they take Jack away. We
It
have
was
some.
it was very interesting to see how each character who was around them like reacted.
Oh, that's true too.
With like
That's true
Art
too.
and Judy, and Judy really gets the brunt of it in this episode. But like Wally and Renee, like you can tell like it hit them all pretty hard, but they all kind of deal with it in different ways.
Yeah, there's only one character I feel like. Well, I guess there's two. There's two characters that I felt like it hit them differently.
Hmm.
Which is Sam, and I think that's just because he didn't know Jack that well.
Yeah,
Which I don't know when, but it does get brought up. Like somebody else confronts Sam about something with it. He goes, "I can't mourn a friend," and they're like, you only knew him for like a week.
Yeah.
It gets brought up, I think, in like 3 episodes, but it ties into that. Like there is a lot of, well, how long have you known this person? What about this? What about that? Like there's things like that. Um, uh, I think that, what's the guy with cancer?
Wally.
Wally. I think Wally, it hit Wally, but it hit Wally in a different way. I think how it hit Wally is more so he's realizing that somebody he thought he would probably died before him.
Yeah, he's realizing his own mortality, I would say.
Well, I think he already had that, but I think the reason why it set in so much more is he probably thought that out of this friend group he would be the first to go.
Well, yeah, because he has like stage 4 cancer.
Yeah, yeah.
So, which we'll get
Um,
into that.
yeah, we'll get in that coming up. And then Renee, I think she cared. I just kind of the same thing. Like you kind of said, I think Julia is the one that it really
Judy.
Judy is the one that it hit the most
Well, yes, because
on that.
let's get into that.
But I also want to add, I don't think it really affected Art too hard.
Not
And
until we get to what part in the episode, I think.
I will add one thing to that because of what this one part is that comes up here shortly is I don't think he really cared too awful much on part of it. Not so much because he disliked Jack at all, but I
Yeah.
think when it came to Judy, that's where there was that little weird animosity thing for breakfast, where he's like, "I picked you fresh raspberries,"
Yeah.
and they kind of played off where it's like a dementia episode a little bit. I don't think that's what it was. I think it was a kind of fuck you, I him trying to like put some fillers out there to know if something was more than it appeared to be.
Well, because like it almost feels like they're in like a loveless relationship almost at this point.
It does,
You know,
especially with some of the other things like knowing their daily routines.
because she like wakes up at this point and he's like making dinner. He's like, "Oh, I made pancakes," and he's acting like nothing happened. Basically, he's
Yeah,
acting
yeah,
like, and she's like, "I'm allergic," and you can tell she's like out of it. And she's like, "I'm allergic to raspberries," and he's like, "When were you allergic to raspberries?" And she's like, "Forever."
yeah,
And he's like, "Oh, we can have bacon." He's like, "I gotta go. It's tea time or whatever." Which we'll get into that where he actually goes. And
yeah,
just to see her like just check out, like mentally, she is checked out.
yeah.
And this is where she goes over to Jack's house, and then we find out the big reveal. Like her and Jack had a relationship.
Well, that happens
Yeah.
after this one part coming up that I like,
Which part is that?
where we actually get to follow Art, where he goes out and he says, "I'm going for a hike,"
Oh yeah,
to the garden. He goes out to this little
it's like a
um
ghost town.
yeah, it's kind of like a little shed looking thing, house out in the middle of nowhere.
It's actually at like I think the general store
Yeah.
in this ghost town. I think it
And
was.
and it's weird cuz you would think, I'm not saying this and I'm not stereotyping shit, okay? For anybody listening out here, I'm just saying for
Okay,
who
okay.
art for who Art is, and as much as you see him smoking the grass, I think it was a lost fucking opportunity that he's not sitting out here growing weed, okay?
Yeah, he was growing mushrooms.
He's growing mushrooms, and never again do mushrooms get brought up. I don't know
Like
if these are
ever?
psychedelic ever. I don't know if these are psychedelic mushrooms. I don't know if there's some special property to these fucking mushrooms. It just seems like it was random. And I'm like, okay, if they were psychedelic mushrooms, I could see maybe him having them. I don't know. But
I
we never
think
an explanation if that's what they are.
I think they were psychedelic mushrooms.
I don't know. And is he selling them on the side? What else is going on?
Because this never gets brought up.
Yeah.
Ever.
But I do like the biggest part that I like, and this is one of the reasons why I do like Art as a character. The first episode, it was kind of fly by the seat of my pants with that. You know,
Yeah.
I could have Art, I could not. You know, but his relationship with Brooksy is the funniest shit to me. I love this part, and you get to experience so much about Art because of he would rather talk to a crow more than he would talk to his own wife about things in their relationship.
Yeah, that was kind of sad too
Yeah,
to
but
see.
you know, he's like Brooksy, you know, I don't know how I need to be feeling because the guy that's been sleeping with my wife all this time just died last night.
Yeah.
And he tells you like, you know, he doesn't know if she fell in love, all this other stuff, which also missed opportunity. We find out later on, so another slight spoiler, that this is agreed upon.
Yeah, yeah,
That
it is.
they can sleep with whoever they want. You just can't catch feelings. And so you find out that's one of the things that's getting Art is yes, you can sleep with whoever you want. I can sleep with whoever I want. Just don't catch any of the feelings. And he does feel like Judy does end up catching the feelings for Jack.
Well, she does.
Yeah, yeah.
She
But
does.
but then flipping over the Judy side, where picking up where you were talking about, when she goes to Jack's house, we do get that. She goes into the closet. She pulls out a shirt. She smells the shirt. You know, she lays down on the bed like she's holding him or whatever. You know, all these other things that we do see that do show that Judy does still love Jack, which I will say right here for a moment, I really wondered if Jack was still around, if Judy would ever have like I'm sleeping with both these guys relationship.
Uh,
You know, would it be more than that's just my wife, or would it be like a hey, um, do you remember what their last name was? Do they have a
no,
last name?
no.
But it's like, hey, small orgy at Judy's house. You know, something like that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like she does still acknowledge that she loves Art, but she knows that Art is going to be her safe space because he's always going to be there.
Hmm.
Versus Jack was where she kind of had this thing where she placed her heart because Jack was the excitement that she could get back compared to that comfortability that she already had with Art.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And like later on it kind of does sort of get resolved a little bit.
Yeah, yeah,
Like between Art and Judy. Um but at the moment it's hitting them both differently. And it's an interesting like way to I don't know, like show grief in a way or you
yeah,
know, or like the notion of loss, I would say. But
yeah,
I
yeah.
kind of want to jump ahead a little bit and talk about like what Art's doing out there. Like he's making mushrooms, whatever he's doing with these mushrooms,
You
and
wanna you wanna ABC this?
I guess yeah,
Okay, so we'll just stick with Art and Judy, basically their story, and then we'll hop to one of the other groups.
because I want to talk about Brooksy and how Brooksy kind of goes and starts attacking Art because they hear this weird sound, and Art like sees his friend die, possibly his only
Yeah,
friend,
yeah. Well,
like
I mean, his only bird friend.
his only bird friend.
Yeah,
He just like falls to the ground, smack dead, and that was very surprising to see. What was more surprising was to see him walk outside and see thousands of crows swarming around, and then they all just fucking fall out of the sky
yeah,
with a thud.
yeah,
To see him go from like, oh, I'm sad my friend died to, oh my god, you see, this is amazing. Like, what's going on? To, oh my god, this is horrifying. He
yeah.
shifted emotions so fast.
Oh yeah. And then to end up later on where he does see Judy again, and he's like, "Hun, I had this big epiphany.
Yeah, I had
You
this big
won't believe
epiphany.
what I saw."
And she was like, are you that fucking high?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah,
that fucking high? Like, what's going on here? Like, and she's like, I can't fucking deal with you at the moment. And like, Art's like, I don't feel like he knows how to like process it. Like he's like, I'm just trying to share what I saw.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, he kind of knows slash he doesn't care at the current moment per se on her grieving process, even though I will tell you, I feel like it's a little weird, her grieving process, because her grieving process is not having emotions like at all.
That's true, and she's cutting people off in traffic. She's just going about like her day, basically.
Yeah, going through the motions. She went to the
Yeah,
pool. She did some other stuff. She does have, I think, when it kind of looks like she was sitting down where she could have gotten ice cream or whatever. It could have been lunch, but she sits at one of those tables in like the main little village area
yeah,
thingy. And it does seem like at that point, like it does kind of set in for her.
yeah,
Um, just for a second though, and then it's like she almost denies that it happens.
yeah.
But
It,
um, we have where they move forward from there. She did let Sam know earlier in the day that Jack was having a memorial process that was at the Mexican restaurant. I think it was Los Chicos.
was it? It was something like that. It
That
was
sounds
something
right.
like
Yeah.
that.
Um,
I don't
or
remember, to
San
be honest.
Chico, something. Yeah, it is something close to that. But um, she did tell Sam earlier in the day about that, and
She gives him back the
she,
hammer she found.
yeah, earlier in the day, she gives
Yeah,
him back the hammer, and she goes, "Oh, did you, did you lose this at Jack's house or whatever?" Yeah, I busted the window to get in. Must have left it over there. And she had asked him if he had went peacefully or he looked peaceful, and Sam said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, when I saw, him passing," and he has to like dig himself out of a hole because you can tell in that sense where she's like, "What do you mean? Like you watched him die?" Kind of sort of.
yeah.
Um,
And you did
like she's
nothing about it.
yeah, like she's trying to pin stuff on people at this point.
Yeah,
Uh, and I that's kind of her lashing out, which again I think that's one of the things she did it, and she did part of it. She didn't really do it with art per se. I think because she just kind of like pushed that away. She knew that he was going to be around no matter what, but she really does it with all the rest of her friends.
yeah.
Um, because
Because
then when
even
they
when they're at
go,
the memorial, like
yeah,
Wally and Renee are sitting behind her, and they're like talking and sort of gabbing and smoking a e-cigarette with pot or whatever. It's
yeah,
watermelon Kush, whatever it
Watermelon
was.
Kush.
Good,
He
right?
was like, "This is your favorite, Renee."
And she's like, "Would you shut the fuck up?"
Yeah, when Sam comes in,
Yeah, yeah,
which I wonder. This is one of the small questions that I have, and you can tell me what you think about it. I really think that Sam was the straw that broke the camel's back in that because of the whole interaction from the morning.
I think so. And I
I,
think
I
I think she was trying to grieve and she couldn't.
yeah,
You
but
know.
I think part of the stuff though with them, like she kept asking Renee and Wally, hey, shut up, hey, do this,
Yeah,
and just the whole thing of not knowing if Sam was more involved or not, I think is what pissed her off.
yeah. Because he
Um,
tries to go to get Wally, and Wally's like, "Look, like, I'll talk about this after memorial service." Like, no, we're not doing anything right now. And he's like, "No, I gotta fucking show you something. I gotta
yeah,
show it to you."
yeah.
Uh,
Um, but then I would say let's jump over to B, and
okay.
we'll do Sam for that one. So Sam has that interaction with her. Sam actually goes to talk to Edward,
Hmm.
right? Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Goes to talk to Edward about what he had said about there being like a crow or an owl in the wall.
yeah.
And so he goes and has this weird conversation with him, which this part is a little weird.
Oh yeah,
I
it's
understand
weird.
it. I understand it, but it is really weird. Um, just the fact that he asked him about part of it, and he goes, well, hey, Sport, are you ready to go to your
Yeah.
baseball game?
You ready to go to your baseball game? We're gonna fly a kite later and ride a bike.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, can you tell me about
The
the
owl.
owl in the wall? And he just kind of is stuck on this thing with his son.
He's like,
Well,
"Where's your
Sport,
kite?
your
Where's
ball
your
game's
kite?
coming out. Yeah.
Where's your
So
kite? Need your kite."
Sam's really fun though because he makes a kite out of paper and he hands it to him. And like he's like, oh yeah, I'll put it with the rest of your kites, like all this other stuff. And then he goes, you're not my son, are you? You're the man asking about the owl on the wall or whatever. And
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, called out right there, buddy.
Well, the thing is, like, I couldn't figure out if he was faking it or not.
No, he does lean into it real hard at that point. So it
Yeah.
does almost seem, but like I said, acting in this is like impeccable.
Yeah.
Impeccable. Um, and then if you actually listen to the last episode of this, you know the joke that I told Mike about hey, you enjoying drinking your yarn over there, son?
I like vanilla. Vanilla's my favorite.
Yeah. That that was a really fun part. I love how it gets played into other episodes later on, but that is such a fun part to have this passive character. And I can't remember what her name is, but she hands out mugs that
Lattes.
have yarn and things on top of
Yeah.
it that are lattes and coffee and all this other stuff. And it's fun having a character that can do that and still be related to a lot of things that could possibly happen with older people.
Unfortunately, Jack ends up upsetting Edward at this
Sam.
point.
Sam.
Oh, Sam, sorry. Sam ends up upsetting Edward at this
I
point.
was like, Jack came back from the dead. Don't tell
Sorry, my
people
bad, my bad. And he goes back to his house, right? And he goes and starts ripping the lights out of the walls.
he he goes to start doing that and he starts taking all the lights apart, unscrewing all the different lights in the house everywhere, trying to find this key. Finally ends up doing it and finds out that it is a key to a storage unit,
Yes.
which he goes to the storage unit, which we don't know where the storage unit is at.
I think it's like on the property.
See, I thought it was like over off somewhere else.
I think it's on the property because it still had like the Boroughs symbol on the keychain.
Yeah, but I think the storage locker is like closer in town or something.
Maybe I don't know. It's semantics. Yeah.
But
Potato,
he does
potato.
that. He does that, and I have to say this is probably one of the biggest parts that like was a butt clincher for me.
Because you didn't know storage unit.
Yeah, because he starts trying to lift up the thing for the storage unit, and it only goes about 2 feet high,
If
and you're like, you got to go in there.
I related so hard to when he had to get on the floor and shimmy through the door.
Yeah, yeah,
I was like, once I'm getting on the ground, I'm not getting back up.
yeah. But no, when that shit happened, I was like, oh my god. I was like, he's gonna go in here and there's gonna be some shit in here and he's gonna have to worry about it and whatnot. And it was more so because of being told from Edward that hey, he caught one of these owls and it's gonna be in the box. Which we had seen what the quote unquote owl looked like in episode 1.
Yeah.
And so when he gets in here and finds the actual box,
It's a taxidermy owl.
and goes to open that, I was like, "Oh my god, oh my
So
god, what's it gonna?"
let me ask you, no spoilers, but does the owl actually play into this season?
I don't. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I almost wanted to say that the owl keeps the things away, but I don't think it does.
Okay.
The biggest thing that I can tell you that the owl takes a place in with giving it some kind of semblance that it works as something is there are a couple of times when people come in the house and they will stare at the owl.
Okay.
That's about it. And you probably know which one I'm talking about when his daughter fixes the TV thingy.
Oh yes.
That's probably the biggest one.
Okay. Okay.
So other than that, it really doesn't matter. But this part though, when he lifted the thing up for this chest, the taxidermy out, you don't really know. So you can see the chest, you can do all this. I'm assuming that when he lifts this up, he goes, "Oh my god," and this thing is still in there.
Yeah,
And I was like,
the lid
"Oh,"
falls over.
I was like, "Oh, is it gonna be alive?" Jesus Christ, he let another one out, and it was a stuffed owl. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
well, she
wasn't
ends up
more
taking it home, and he ends up something ends up basically interacting with the blood that was left behind
from
on
the
the
hammer.
from the hammer, and he sees this, and that's when he goes to find Wally, and all that stuff happens with Wally and stuff like that. Where you want to
Yeah,
save that for the end?
huh?
You want to save that for the end?
Yeah. I'm trying to get us all up to this because that's
Okay.
when the pivotal moment kind of happens.
Okay. Cool.
Um, so then jumping back, we do have where Renee has went with Wally to basically pick out a
Sh-
casket.
Shop for coffins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see him, and there's some good scenes or good shots in this where it's him like laying there, and you're like, nah, it couldn't possibly happen that fucking fast.
I have
Um,
I have to say Wally is probably one of the most likable characters in the show.
he is,
Yeah.
and it's very weird, right? So one of the things is trying to that when I first watched this was trying to explain different characters to my mom and what they had played in before.
Yeah.
And Wally was one of the only characters she didn't know what else he'd been in. And I said, well, I said, you'll probably never watch it, but one of the biggest things he's been in was actually American Horror Story.
Oh yes.
And he played a lot of different characters for a lot of different seasons in that. And has been in, at least up to what I watched, I think like season 12 of that. He was in like every episode in some area. So it is very comforting to know like his comicalness that he's had in American Horror Story as a horror based TV show. And then to have this that kind of totes that line that it's like maybe baby horror almost, because it's not super scary or anything with this, but there is a little horror aspect to it, I think. And to have him be even more comical and stick out and be this character that you can really just love without it being something that is so focused on horror. So
Hmm.
I do think Wally's actor was able to make this a more enjoyable show just for things like that. Um,
Yeah, I've actually never seen him in anything.
yeah,
So this is the first time I ever saw him in like any show or movie or anything like that.
yeah,
But I really like him as an actor. I think he's fun. He really like slips into the role because
yeah,
we end up finding out that like he has terminal cancer and he keeps going back to this doctor he's seeing on the premises where he's trying to give him like alternate like things that he can try out to prevent the cancer and stop the cancer.
yeah.
Which I think it's like he wants to try apricot seeds.
He did.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, he already tried apricot seeds. He tried like skin graft stuff. I mean, there's like a lot of different stuff that he's tried, and he's trying to get other things signed off on if he can try them. But the thing is that they're so like ones that are like new up and coming
They're like
research.
very much fringe medicine, I would say.
Yeah, like you just don't know. And so that's one of the things with that really get to the doctors on like, we can't really do anything with that. Which one thing I would really like to know honestly is how long Wally has been at the Boroughs
Yeah.
and have the thing stopped going after him. Because
Um,
one thing that I would like to know in that is if you're a person that has cancer, do they see you as having like tainted blood?
I don't know because they go more after the. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but like the what do they call it, like the membrane stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we do know that they have the part where like they check everybody's mouths and they have scars, but we don't know when Wally was diagnosed with cancer.
yeah, true, true.
So that's something that we would have to know how long he's actually been at the Boroughs and is that true or not.
And then we get to Renee. Renee rallies up a posse to actually find out what's going on with the missing quartz.
Yeah, well, it was when she was in her little workout aerobics class.
Yeah,
And one of the ladies brings up that she had a really nice chessboard that somebody had gotten her for Christmas a couple of years ago, and that they had one of the sets of the chess pieces were made out of quartz, and all of those pieces are missing.
yeah.
So Renee starts kind of asking around more because now she not only has one person who has chess pieces missing,
It's like
her
it's like
who's missing crystals, but
eight
she has all
people.
these other people that are missing things that are made out of quartz. And she feels like she's got a good case to be able to bring to the police there to do stuff. So she comes to Paz, which is who they've kind of had a little bit of, I would say, a flirty relationship to this point.
Isn't this the first time they met? No, they met one other time, right? They
Yeah,
met.
they met, well, they've met a couple other times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because she's like, I need you to help me find this stuff, and he's like, well, I could. Paz says, like, he's like, well, I could, but then like, Hank will get upset because I filed this police report. He told me not to file it.
You could always take me to
You can
dinner.
always take
That
me
would
to
make up
dinner if
for
I
it.
end up getting fired, but no Applebee's. I like I like the hot stuff, the high dollar stuff. Like
Yeah,
their relationship is cute. It's
it
it's
is.
it's cute,
It is. It's really weird too, though, because like looking at stuff online too, just thinking about it, and you'll know this. Some other things that I know you and I have watched, a lot of people with the roles reversed would have hated this kind of thing
Yeah,
because of this age gap relationship. I'm just telling you, like, I'm here for it. Like, I think I
they're
agree with
very
you. Like this
much
is a fucking cute couple. Like,
they're if the roles were reversed, there's very much a double standard.
yeah, yeah. Oh my
Uh
god, I can't believe it. Da da da
yeah.
da. Da.
No, there is much a double standard, but I like where their relationship goes.
Yeah, yeah.
But we won't talk about that right now. Um,
Um, not right
not right
now.
now. In the next
Um,
episode, I think it happens.
yeah. But we have
But
that. We
she says
have
they set up
where
cameras, right?
they set up cameras too in her art studio area. Um, so all that stuff happens, and then we also later on get where Hank does get a report on it, and kind of stages this weird thing. I would say where it's like,
Oh,
hey,
he stages the whole thing.
yeah, it's like, hey, he found this report where there was a guy that got picked up earlier, and then basically said, oh, well, he got picked up and they found all this stuff in his car, and but nobody can have their stuff back because technically it all is under lock and key because it's stuff for
It's
um
what do they call it? Why am
evidence.
I playing evidence? Yeah, well,
Yeah, yeah.
evidence.
It's all evidence for his thievery and stuff.
Yeah,
And like you're pretty sure like, hey, there's some bullshit going on here. And Paz later on does, we find out when he does come to find Renee again, that he did send out that stuff, which is the reason why they put the cameras up. And called back to these police officers and stuff. They did pick up the guy, but there were no court stuff or anything else like that made
Yeah,
or found with him.
he like doctored those files.
Yeah. So uh, that I think is one thing that does push Paz and Renee's relationship in a direction.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for
Um,
sure. For sure.
but yeah, and I think that gets us all the way up to
The big reveal, right?
the argument of where Judy yells in the at the thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the memorial. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So Sam comes. He ends up grabbing Wally. He's like, "Hey, uh, basically, I'm kind of sort of this adventure guy. You're a doctor. Between the two of us, we should be able to understand what this weird stuff is that was on my hammer." Which this is also the time when Paz and Renee kind of have like a little moment about talking and stuff.
Yeah.
And then Judy goes home, and like we had said earlier, where Judy sees Art, and Art's trying to tell her, "Hey, imagine all this stuff that happened with these crows and how all this crap happened. Like I can't believe it." And she's like, Why weren't you at the memorial?
Yeah.
You must be stoned out of your mind." So that gives them a little fight where she leaves to go out, where she will discover what Sam and Wally are doing with this stuff. But they get this kind of like little weird dark blue,
Liquid.
transparent, dried liquid. Yeah. And when it is put up next to
A,
basically like the static of
a tube
uh,
TV.
tube TV, it starts vibrating and almost has like an explosion effect to it.
It looks like a weird blue constellation.
Yeah, with like blue and green dots in it. I think there's little hints of purple.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's kind of where we end the episode.
yeah, Wally walks into it, and that's about it. Um, Overall, good episode. Again, though, like the thing that you asked me, and like this part right here, I have no idea what this little constellation stuff means. Since we already did get a green light, or I'm sure we'll get a green light for a Boroughs season 2. Hopefully
So
that will get answered.
So something with that. So somebody actually commented on our YouTube channel
Yeah.
about it because they're glad we were covering the Boroughs, and they were glad we were continuing to cover the Boroughs. But they said apparently the creators have plans for at least 3 seasons
Okay.
worth of stories set out, but it
Yeah.
just depends if Netflix is going to pick it up or not.
Yeah.
I don't
I could
know how well the Boroughs did.
I could see at least a season 2.
Like I had no idea. I don't know how well the Boroughs did with season 1. I think it's slowly building up by word of mouth,
Yeah.
kind of like how Stranger Things did at the very beginning.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna have that big
So
like
you're telling
surge, you know?
you're telling us that we're at the forefront of
Maybe,
covering the Boroughs and throwing this out?
maybe. I don't know. I don't know. But I thought this episode was okay.
Yeah.
I liked how it dealt with the death of the character of Jack and
Yeah.
how everybody dealt with it. I thought that was really
Well,
interesting.
and there was enough of the other like supernatural aspect to it I really enjoyed. Like one thing that we forgot to touch on is when Ard talked to Brooksy, he brings up this weird word that I can't remember how to say it. But basically it's like if Brooksy was like the embodiment of a spirit that could travel between worlds, and he tells him like, "Hey, if you ever see Jack, would you make sure that he gets to go to like a tropical island,
Yeah.
like in heaven or whatever situation that was." Which I love that plays an Art's character and how well, even though he knew that this friend was sleeping with his wife, um, that he wasn't worried about it. Like he still wished the best for Jack. But like I said earlier, the two things that I question the most, and especially, and you can chime in on this because you're getting to the end, and it really doesn't play into anything anymore, is this weird thing with the blood that makes this constellation thing. It really doesn't do anything. So I wonder if there is a season two for that. That's planned for a reveal in season two at all. I don't know.
Yeah. Uh
Um, and then the other thing is this thing that you had brought up earlier with the crows. Um, I don't know what this thing was that was out in the desert. There was a thing where like an animal made like a roar or something like that. I don't know if it would have been like one of these things, in particular Scar, which you'll know that
well,
reference.
there's something out in the desert we haven't touched on yet, which we'll
You mean
get
the
to in a
tree?
later episode. Yeah, the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but the noise that was made, I think, would have been something that we could have alluded to with the other things. Now, if we had known if like the mother character had escaped or something like that, then we would have had more insight to maybe these birds maybe got a little mind controlled and somebody made them fly into the ground. But other than that, like I said, between these two plot points, there's almost nothing else connected to it besides like a shock and awe factor.
Yeah. And it does have like that shock and awe factor in this episode. I personally feel like this episode is out of the two we watched, it was the slower
Yeah.
of the two episodes. And but I like the direction it's going, how we're building up our characters and they're all slowly but surely finding things out.
Yeah.
Which I do like, you know. And once you figure it out, once you figure out like what's going on, I won't spoil it. But it's not what you expect.
No, and there's a lot of it. I will give credit to one thing with this one is you do have a lot of things that until you get to the last episode, they really don't get answered.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think is really good in this compared to Stranger Things was we did get a lot of that like early on and then you'd go into the last one or two episodes. This one like you're kind of left out in the open. Like I said, until you get to the very last episode and understand like everything that's going on, you really don't know.
So, Jin, where
Yeah.
can they find you?
You can find me at Bart's Tavern on Instagram. You can also find me at Manga Restart right now on Instagram and somewhat also on YouTube, even though they're all old videos. Stay tuned because Bart's Tavern is getting worked on. I have a lot of other stuff that's going on right now to work on a YouTube for that one at the moment. But hopefully, I will get that out to you guys soon. Um, and you can find me basically everywhere that Otakuology can be found.
You can also find me on Otakuology. Also, make sure to rate and review the podcast. It helps. Share the podcast. Tell your friends. You can check us on YouTube or other podcast platforms. You can find me at the Otaku Mike on YouTube or Instagram, where I talk all about comic books and stuff. So yeah, it's a fun time. Go check it out most definitely, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Hell yeah. See you next Tuesday.